Our first guest today is Jean. Jean calling in from Texas. How you doing, Jean?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Awesome.
Yeah, we're doing fantastic. Jean, welcome to the show. Hey, I know you. I think I've been on your podcast, Jean.
You were on my podcast, right? The Real in Real Estate. Thanks again for doing that.
Yeah,
That was great.
Yeah, I remember that. No, you were awesome. I remember. So when you came on, and forgive me, I wasn't when I was looking at the name and Josh was mentioning, I was like, I didn't recognize. And then when you came on, I was like, oh, I know Jean. I've talked to Jean before. So, well, what can we help you with, Jean? Like, what's your question? What's going on with the business? How can we help you break through your next kind of challenge?
Well, my next challenge, I have a brokerage. It's fairly new. I'm trying to grow it, and I'm not having a lot of luck with that, and I'm not sure why that is. I know some people are wanting to do commercial real estate, which I don't do. I've done this podcast, obviously. I get involved in the local HAR. Our local real estate school has job fairs, which I go to also. And I'm wondering if you have any suggestions, how a small beginning brokerage can attract talent.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Now, attracting a talent in this industry is the desire. How do you do it? Can you give me an idea of how big the brokerage is right now? I know you're small, but how many agents do you have? And then give me an idea of kind of like your volume or success so far in 2025.
Yes. So I have 4 agents right now. One is brand new. One was out of the business and came back, and one is just doing really, really well. She really has, uh, my agent Cloudy has really grabbed a hold of the reins and taken off. And we've done so far about 6 million with 21
Okay.
transactions, and we've got
Nice.
several to close before the end of the year, believe it or not, which is good.
Awesome. Yeah, congrats. Okay, so what is the value prop in your mind, that would attract people over to your brokerage? Like what are you telling them right now?
We are small, therefore attention. You will get 100% of my attention. I'm a 24/7 broker. I'm not a broker that if you need help, I'm not available. I'm always available, unless I don't hear the phone ring, and then I'll get back to you as soon as I see the missed call. So I think that's number one, because there are a lot of big brokerages out there, and the brokers don't always work nights and weekends, and that's when we do a lot of our business. So that's an advantage. You also get
Okay.
one-on-one training and attention with me. I'm not
Okay.
going to tell you to go watch a video. There are videos I could recommend for certain aspects, but I sit down with you and I go over it one-on-one. And we have classes, and I take you by the hand and go through the whole thing. You can shadow me or one of the other agents. If I'm going to an inspection, come with me. If I'm going to a closing, come with me. If I'm going to a listing appointment, let's see how it's really done. And I provide, not everybody does this, believe it or not, but I also have listing brochures and booklets and buyer booklets and presentations that I customize for each agent with their name and information and their favorite lenders, etc. So it's a lot of custom, personalized, one-on-one service, which I find valuable, but maybe I'm wrong.
Now, it's good for me to hear. And obviously I have, I feel like a million questions off of that question, but the biggest thing that I see you're leaning on is this mentorship and education and one-on-one attention, which is relationships, which is awesome. The downside always to that in my mind is that everybody can say it, and it's very hard to prove that one person is going to be better than the next, right? Yeah. So if you think about value props, you're really looking for a unique value proposition. And, you are unique. So when you say, hey, I'm going to be around for you 24/7, well, every broker owner can say that. That doesn't mean they will, but they can say that. So it's not unique. Hey, we're going to give you mentorship and training. Every brokerage is going to say that. It's not unique. So you've really got to almost share it in the lens of your story. What has been Jean's experience, and why should they want you as a mentor? What have you accomplished? Because ultimately, right, you want to follow someone who has accomplished what you want to accomplish. And so I don't know your total history and track record there. Then if I kind of switch gears a little bit on you, the way I think about it is this, is we know how to try to help agents or coach agents to go get buyers and sellers. They need to look at their, what I call marketing, and how are they marketing to their different lead pillars. And the biggest lead pillar should be your sphere. And how do you set up a funnel for your sphere. And we would coach agents on, hey, you got to be in front of your sphere, whether it's email, print, you got to be on social media. The same applies to recruiting. The number one way you're going to recruit agents over is through relationships. So Acre Brothers Realty, for instance, I'll tell you guys, we just recruited the number one agent in Lynchburg, Virginia to come over to the team. So this agent, number one in Virginia, Lynchburg, Virginia, solo agent. We're the number one team. She was the number one solo agent. She does like 120 deals a year, her and her husband. And we just recruited her over. But that took years. That took years to get her over because it was a relationship, right? And the relationship is built on trust, right? You got to get people to know, like, and trust you. So the way I would think about it, Gene, is what's your database look like for the agents you're trying to recruit? And who is that ideal target audience that you have picked? I've heard from other broker owners that the real ideal target audience is the agent that's been in the business a couple of years and they're not quite succeeding. And so they have been through the ringer a little bit. But they're not having the success they want. This fits into your value prop because your value prop is what? Mentorship. Your value prop is I'm going to be there for you and you can seat ride with me and you can, I'll coach you. So, if your ideal target audience would be that agent that's been in the business for 2 to 3 years, they aren't having the success they want, and you're going to help them get to the next level. And then what? You build that database. And then my challenge to you is what's your funnel for that database of agents? How often are you dripping on them? When you drip on them, what are you sending them? Think of it through the 3 E's of content: education, most critical. How are you educating and adding value to their life and what you're sending them? Entertainment, meaning what are you doing to grab coffee with them, to invite them to different things in the community? And then number 3 would be endearment. How are you showcasing? You know how we got Stacy on the team? And I say we, it's really a Steven thing. He's just not here today. Stacy came to the team because of the values that are represented. So our team, I'm a believer in Jesus and stuff like that. And so is Steven, and we're a faith-based team and all this stuff. And it's like Stacy shares very common values to the Acre Brothers Realty team. And so showcasing through the final E, which is endearment, your values, what you stand for, how you support people, how you support the community. So you need to build the database of agents that you're trying to recruit. And you need to drip on them just like you would teach an agent. And then a big tip that I see right now is huge for broker owners is kind of the EXP. Real is probably even doing it better in EXP. Sorry to all my EXP agents out there, but Real is probably doing it even better, is the masterminds. So Sharon, right, Savatsa, who really blew up Real over the past couple of years, when they have interviewed him, I think it was Alex Ramosi who talked about this, which is asking Sharon, what was your most high value activity to recruit agents to Real? And he said it was these masterminds. And so Sharon literally in a year was doing like 260 plus events to all around the country. You don't have to do 260, but how can Gene, where are you located again, Gene? You're in Texas?
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. So how can you create a local mastermind that right there in Houston, Texas, brand agnostic, not about your company, but about helping agents, and invite the top producers in that area to be on a panel? And you invite all of the agents in the area to come learn from the top producers of how they can grow in 2026, of what's working or not. Guess who gets associated with all that goodwill? Jean does, because she put that on. And by natural just connection, face to face, you can put them in your database. You can start dripping on them. And the people who do this the best are the people who are just about relationship and value. They're not selling their brand. You're not trying to recruit them right there at that mastermind. You're just trying to give value, because when that agent goes home and they are not supported by their broker, and they're only doing 3 deals and they want to get to 10 deals, it's in that moment that your value prop will actually resonate now, where you're saying, hey, I'm around for you 24/7. Hey, I will let you seat ride with me and mentor you. But if you just lead with that value prop, no offense, it's not sexy at all and it's not unique, and I don't think it's going to resonate. You really need to rethink how you share your value prop through the lens of your story. And then more importantly, you really need to focus on the funnel. So that's my tips for you. I don't know, Josh, if you have stuff to add there on what I've missed, but
there's not much that you missed. I mean, I would just look at your past success. Where have you recruited agents from in the past? What type of agent do you have? This specific person that you're trying to work with? We've seen it over and over and over again, the cliche that the riches are in the niches, but really zero down on the type of agents that you want on your team. And then everything that Luke just said there, really kind of narrow that down and focus on that it's marketing, recruiting is marketing. So that marketing funnel for them.
Yep. How often are you hitting, like how many recruiting activities are you doing per week right now, Gene?
I would say it's more like 2 a month, quite frankly, because we've been really busy.
There you go. So I know it's difficult because you have, you're growing your actual business right now, and this is part of it. But you gotta really, you need way more activity. Way more activity.
I love the mastermind class idea. That's something that's right up my alley. I would love to do that. So thank you. I think that's very valuable for me.
Yep. And your podcast is fantastic. So you already have the content to drip on. Are you interviewing the local agents on your podcast?
I do. Yes.
Okay, beautiful. That's an incredible way to build a relationship. Yeah. So I think you're going to have success, but I think you're in the stage, and this is important for the audience to hear. And I suffer from this too. You're in this stage where you essentially are doing the right things, but not enough of them.
Okay.
So instead of focusing on what am I doing wrong? Or should I do something else? You actually just need to increase your volume of activity because it feels like, and all advice you got to take with a grain of salt, because I don't know the nuances of your business, but I can tell in just what I'm hearing. Oh, wait, I see same red flags that I've seen before. You're not doing enough volume. Do more volume. 2 a month is not nearly enough. How many calls are you making a week to agents? How many cups of coffee are you going on with agents? It's the same as if you were trying to build your share. What does your email drip number of touches look like? It's volume, because volume creates visibility. And if you do the 2 V's, volume and value, all of a sudden you get known, like, and trusted. So I love it, Gene. You're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for the time and the input and value and volume. I like that. I got it. And the mastermind thing is wonderful. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, Gene. Go get them. Thanks for coming on the show.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.